Hello, friends. My name is Mrs. Carrie Coonan, and it's always a pleasure to get to introduce myself. And this presentation is no exception, for sure. We welcome you all to Raynor Country Day School's 2020-2021 school year, which has certainly started off in a very exciting manner. Although things may appear very different, the love, patience, kindness, and attention of our staff has never changed since Friday, March 13th. We hope that you appreciate the digital open house presentations we've organized for you this evening, and we look forward to a very exciting and adventuresome school year.
Welcome to third grade. I am so excited that you're here joining me to learn a little bit more about our class. The one thing that I wanted to point your attention to is look for this packet that came home today or will be going home. If you haven't already seen it, it contains a lot of information about what we will be doing in third grade. So one of the biggest things that I can tell you that every child looks forward to in third grade basically has to do with this little cookie. This little cookie is an Oreo. It's the original Oreo. And basically what we do in third grade is we see how many Oreos we can stack on top of each other. So it's pretty cool. This year we're gonna do it. It's going to take me a little while to figure out how we will do it socially distanced with masks on, but I will make sure that this happens because it is absolutely one of our favorite activities here in third grade. And it's one of the ones most talked about at the end of the year. It's one of the ones that's always remembered at the beginning of the year from the previous class. So stacking Oreos will be on our agenda for third grade this year. So it's not how to eat an Oreo. How to eat an Oreo is a completely different thing, but how many Oreos can we stack as we move ahead? Each child will have their own individual Oreos, and we will work on that this year. Now, that said, so far I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Not too bad. I'm not so good at this. Kids, much more better at this. Okay, moving on from Oreos. What can you expect in third grade this year? Well, third grade is, first of all, we have phase 1 of our schedule. That schedule has been sent home already. I've sent it home again in this packet, and it might change as the year goes on and different activities are added in as long as our COVID numbers stay low and we're able to add in different activities. So our schedule is included. If you have yet to sign up for our Remind app update, make sure you do. I'll send out pictures. I'll send out little information about what the kids are doing, how the class is going, important information that you need to know, things that need to come back to me. Just make sure if you haven't already signed up for that, go ahead and do it. If you have, thank you so much. I hope you're enjoying it. Now, on to the nitty-gritty stuff. So, what are we going to be doing this year in third grade? Well, we're going to be doing our ELA, our writing and our reading. Starting with our writing, we are going to be starting off the year with a personal narrative. We're going to talk about personal narratives. We'll have our little notebook. We'll have little mini lessons where we'll learn all these different anchor charts. We'll learn all these different activities. We'll have a mini lesson with a mentor text. Then we'll go ahead and write a tiny little bit. Then by the end of a couple of months, we will have our final draft and then move on. So we work on the writing process. We work on the pre-writing, the drafting, the revising, and the editing, which I don't help them with that much. I teach them how to do it. But in third grade, the whole big word for me is independence and responsibility. I need to push things back on them to get them ready for fourth grade. So, we also work on paragraphs, writing in paragraphs. By the end of the year, we have at least a 3 to 5 paragraph story or piece of writing that we do. We work on narrative writing. We work on how-to informational writing, and we do some opinion writing. Those are the things that we do there. In reading, we go ahead and we learn different reading strategies using mentor texts and different skills. We do a lot of independent reading. I try to teach them how to know whether a book is just right, easy, or challenging for them. I encourage them to push themselves out of their comfort zone. If there's someone who's choosing a realistic fiction book all the time, I want them to read a mystery. I want them to read nonfiction. I want them to read historical fiction, something that they're not always reading. So that's something that you can look for this year. How do they know whether a book is easy, just right, or challenging? We'll talk about that. We also do mentor sentences, which is what Mrs. Nigel did last year with them in second grade. We'll use a text, we'll read it for a week, we'll focus on one specific sentence, and then we'll talk about parts of speech, we'll talk about revising that sentence, and then imitating that sentence to make that an amazing sentence. And I love how they take those lessons and apply it right into their writing. Moving forward, spelling is going to be very similar to last year with Mrs. Nigel. I'll introduce a spelling rule. We'll brainstorm different words that fit that rule, and then the children will be able to pick their own spelling words for the week. They'll work with a partner, socially distanced with masks on, give themselves pre-tests and their spelling tests, and that's that. Cursive handwriting will be taught in third grade, so they will get some experience with cursive writing. Math. My favorite subject to teach, hands down. 3 big words that have to do with math. 1, multiplication. We start multiplication very, very soon. Okay, multiplication, they have all year to learn their multiplication facts, and trust me, we will be working on them as much as we can. The next one, division. If they know their multiplication facts, they will it will make their division fact learning much easier. And fractions. Fractions are so much fun. We get to that probably in March or April, but a lot of fun, a lot of hands-on work that we do with fractions. So one of the things the kids look forward to, and I told them about this already, is Facts Friday. We do Engage New York. If you don't know Mr. Dwayne Habaker by now, this is included in your packet. Scan the QR code. It's going to give you a list of all of his YouTube videos, module, lesson by lesson. It might help you out a little bit. Facts Friday. So we do Facts Friday on Fridays, help them off in learning their different facts. I like hands-on math. I like to do different math craftivities to help them reinforce their different math facts and their math skills. Science, a lot of hands-on learning. We start off with our Oreo project, which I showed you a little bit about before. We talk about the scientific method. We do some learning about energy. We learn a lot about electricity. We have STEM bins that we will work with where they do a lot of problem solving, a lot of logic that goes into those. And the science fair is required for third grade, and it's independent, so they're not allowed to work with somebody. The science fair is in March this year. It's on March 3rd, and I will start in January with a timeline. You'll get a timeline as to what's going to be due when and when it's going to get turned in, and it will be part of their grade toward the end of the year. Social studies, I love Scholastic News, and we do a lot with Scholastic News. We do the interactive version online. We use our Chromebooks a lot for Scholastic News, which is great because they can listen to it. I can assign different levels. We do a lot of quizzes on the back, a lot of reading comprehension, a lot of going back into the story to find the proof and the evidence that support their answers. We do a lot with the graphing and the charts, which this is all about reading a nonfiction text, which falls right in with our reading skills. We watch the videos, so we do a lot with our Scholastic News. I love Scholastic News, and it's a great resource that we have this year for social studies. Also, we've talked a little bit about the Constitution and the preamble, to discuss our classroom rules. We talked about how the U.S. Constitution are the rules for the United States, and that's how we introduced our rules for third grade and came up with our rules together as a class. I'm not giving them their rules. They're coming up with their rules on their own. So that is that. We also talk a little bit about government. We also, at the end of the year, will do a research project about a country. So they'll get to choose what country they want to learn about, and they'll research from there using their Chromebook, using atlases, using some other books, and so on and so forth. Something else you do need to know is that the New York State assessments start in third grade. I don't teach to the test, so to speak. I'm not going to give them test questions and test questions and test questions every single day for weeks and months. No, I started teaching to the test from kind of day one, when we start teaching about math, when we start teaching about writing, when we start teaching about reading. I know what to expect on test questions, and I'm going to teach them the best way to do it. About a week or so before the test, I will show them some sample questions from previous years that have been released to us, and we'll go through them and talk about how to solve them, where to find the proof, what we can do from there. But the test dates are in the packet that went home, but ELA is April 20th through 22nd of 2021, and math is going to be May 4th through May 6th of 2021. So April and May are when those state tests are going to be. That's basically it about curriculum wise. I am always here for you. Best way to reach me is through the Remind app or through my Raynor Country Day School email, which is jennifermarciana@raynorcountrydayschool.com. And if there's any questions you have, feel free to contact me. I'm looking forward to working with you. I'm looking forward to working with your child this year. And I can't wait to see how your child grows and develops as the third grade year moves on. Thanks for coming. Feel free, if you have any questions, to contact me. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.